Good Wednesday evening, everyone, here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm First Alert meteorologist Isaac Williams with a recap of the day's weather and looking ahead to what we can expect going forward. We have 3 new First Alert weather days next week for a potential heat wave that's going to be building in across the southeast. I'll talk about that today, though. Was a bit of a treat. Highs were only at 88 degrees, just shy of the normal of 90. So yes, it ended up getting a little hotter really late in the afternoon because really all morning and for the first part of the afternoon, dare we say it felt kind of pleasant outside. We, of course, had a lot of humidity and we had some occasional showers, but a lot of cloud cover this morning certainly helped those temperatures to stay on the more bearable side of things. Again, the high temperature today, 88 after a 96-degree afternoon yesterday. The record today was 100 degrees, set back in 1952, but notice on the month here, at least at Hartsfield-Jackson, only 1.28 inches of rain of the month. So that is almost 2.5 inches of rain behind on the year. We did get 4 100ths down at the airport today, but we are technically and officially a bit behind for the month, and now we're actually a little over an inch behind on the year. With rain totals, we've had just over 28 inches of rain down at the airport all year long. And going forward, we have a chance of rain tomorrow. And then from Friday through the weekend, we don't have much hope for rain. And the next week, we have a heat wave with very limited rain as well. So we will be following that drought monitor that was released every Thursday. I'll be talking about that tomorrow. It's possible that parts of North Georgia could slip into a little drought. Maybe not. We'll see what the drought folks say for tomorrow. But today's high temperature of 88 degrees, not too bad. Rest of the forecast tonight we'll get to in a second. But coming up here Monday through Wednesday, 3 First Alert weather days, we have pretty high confidence, even at days 5, 6, and 7, that we're going to have temperatures in the afternoon. If not near 100 degrees, we'll have a 98-degree afternoon with a heat index of near 105 plus. So we're looking at hot, potentially humid weather for several days in a row next week. And again, that classifies as a potential heat wave. And that's the reason that we wanted to give you the First Alert, the heads up for that activity coming in next week. For tonight, though, mostly clear, no rain, and some of you will be treated to some more comfortable air. Not everybody will get in on some drier air overnight tonight, but we are seeing some signs of some drier air come in from the Carolinas, so we are going to feel a little bit better for some of you overnight. Low temperatures, though, still in the 70s, so it's still going to be mild out there, but maybe a touch more comfortable than it's been feeling in recent nights and evenings. Tomorrow, back to 90 degrees, partly sunny with a few afternoon storms. We're going to see about a 30% coverage of afternoon rain and storms. About what we saw this morning, but translated into the afternoon tomorrow. So with that in mind, we should heat up a little bit more, right on average for late July there at 90 degrees. Here's a look at highs tomorrow: 87 in Covington, 85 in Griffin and Thomaston, 89 Canton, 92 in Rome, 90 in Atlanta. So again, this is mostly near average. A few of the outlying spots outside of the metro could see a little bit, or their second 80-degree day for a high temperature. We're going to be looking at numbers, rain coming in from the south and east, I should say. Humidity, though, will certainly be with us. So even though we have a brief period of drier air tonight, we're going to see more moisture come in tomorrow. And the feels like temperatures will be in the 90s, but nothing too extreme. We're not going to see any triple-digit heat indices tomorrow, I don't think. That comes probably starting Friday, and if not Friday, definitely by the weekend. That's when some of the super humid stuff begins to resurface. So for our Futurecast, I think it's doing a good job here at 7 o'clock, indicating that we're basically dry, and we look to stay that way for the rest of the night. Overnight into tomorrow morning, we'll see kind of a mixture of clouds and sunshine around daybreak for Thursday. I don't think we'll have as much cloud coverage as we had this morning, which was pretty widespread. We should see some intervals of sun through the morning hours. And notice tomorrow, though, things will be coming in from the southeast rather than the east and northeast. And I'll talk about why that is coming up, too. There's an area of low pressure, again, in the Gulf that's sort of sending a little bit of a different surge of moisture in our direction tomorrow. Here's noon, and some showers could already be in the southeast part of the region near Eatonton over toward Augusta, and we'll be seeing these lift up to the north and west throughout north and central Georgia. Some downpours over near Augusta tomorrow afternoon, but notice over North Georgia, not an extreme coverage of rain. We're looking at just scattered showers out there with a few rumbles, but nothing, again, too unstable, nothing too extreme. out there. And by 11 o'clock tomorrow evening, we should be looking at generally dry weather returning, and that's going to set us up for Friday and the weekend, where we're not expecting a whole lot of rain, but a whole lot of heat is going to be returning to the state, and we're going to be looking again at that heat wave beginning to come in by early next week. Flash flood risk tomorrow. Technically, we are in a level 1 out of 4 risk, basically from the metro south and east. You can see kind of that middle section of Georgia in the risk up into the upstate of South Carolina, then stretching back through South Alabama, Mississippi, and most of the Louisiana coastline. And that's due to that area of low pressure that's in the Gulf that's going to be moving closer to New Orleans and Louisiana for Thursday. And again, the bulk of the moisture and the rain chance going with it, but it is sending enough in our direction that we'll see one more round of at least scattered downpours tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at that low right now. We've got it spinning up south of Mobile, Alabama, and again, it's moving west, and we have a stationary front kind of draped through the region as well, and a lot of action around this low. You can see pockets of storms for the Florida Panhandle and Peninsula, from areas north of Tampa to near Tallahassee, and then areas west of the Florida Panhandle closer to the Louisiana coastline. And this entire area of low pressure is going to continue slowly sliding to the west. But you can kind of see how some drier air has been kind of worked through the Carolinas, North Georgia, now into northeast Alabama. But that area of low pressure is going to continue moving west. And so what's going to happen is the stalled front that's draped across the Savannah area is going to get tugged back to the north and west. And that is going to mean more rain chances and more moisture, I should say, coming up as early as tomorrow. So a very brief respite in the humidity tonight, and then we're going to see it come right back for your tomorrow and Friday. Before we get to the 7-day, I clicked ahead there. We're going to go over to the Suwannee Creek in Suwannee, near Suwannee. So it's actually near flood stage at the moment, or at least minor flood stage due to some downpours earlier. A flood warning there is in effect, and you can see even by 8 p.m. tonight, it's kind of falling out of that big flood stage, and then overnight into tomorrow morning, we're expecting things to fall rapidly. So that's a good news there for those folks here, but I do want to just show that we do have one active river flood warning in the region, and this is, again, for Suwannee Creek near Suwannee. Cresting earlier at about 8 feet or so and then falling again. But the main story we're talking about is the heat. That's what we have continued to kind of see in our forecast models, and we're continuing to see, again, some pretty good confidence that we're going to see near triple-digit temperatures for next week. So here is that super 7-day forecast. We have a 30% chance of rain tomorrow, 20% on Friday, and then we're basically taking it out over the weekend. A fully dry weekend is pretty rare for late July. We do have highs, though, in the mid-90s, so we're going to kind of lead into that heat wave through the weekend at 95 both days on Saturday and Sunday. Next week, we start off at 97 degrees Monday and then 99 on Tuesday and Wednesday. We are seeing signs that we could see the first 100-degree day this year and since last year. So I did some quick research. We've only hit 100 degrees twice in Atlanta in the last 6 years. One time last year in 24, and then the last time we did it before that was 2019 in August. So it doesn't happen very often. We're going to be very, very close to it. Unless something changes, a big ridge of high pressure is going to be settling in. And unless something changes with that high, we are not going to get out of having a potentially prolonged heat wave Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we have 97, 99, and 99. So we have 3 first alert weather days, because not only are we going to see just a scorching afternoon, but the humidity is going to be needed to be accounted for. And the heat index could definitely be creeping above that 105 threshold, which is the heat advisory threshold. And notice those overnight lows only in the upper 70s, so we're not getting much overnight relief either going into next week. We'll keep you posted if something changes, though, but right now that's what we're kind of looking at. In the tropics, a quick check here. We've got that area of low pressure in the Gulf kind of moving west. Hurricane Center giving it just a 10% chance of development. We are not thinking this is going to be anything major, but it's just like last week where we did have an area of low pressure near the coast that did not develop. It was Invest 93L last week. This week, again, more of the same, but very limited tropical development expected, which is good news. We'll continue to keep tabs on the tropics, though, but just keep in mind we have a pretty much bona fide heat wave on the way next week. hopefully something changes and maybe we lose at least a few degrees to those high temperatures, but kind of transitioning into some really, really hot weather with not much rain relief. Notice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, just a 20% chance of rain, maybe 30% by next Wednesday. But overall, enjoy the next couple of days of near normal late July temperatures before we start to heat up through the weekend with those 3 first alert weather days next week.